All right, folks, what is going on? Back with another video. And today I want to talk about the reason why I started and then I stopped collecting retro games. Now, if you've been following the channel or whatever, I've done 50 pickup videos and I've gotten to the point where I stopped doing those. And I felt like it was the right thing to do. Now, when I look at all the games behind me, I have a lot of games. These are not even all my games. I have other games that are in the closet. I have some other games that are in my son's room, and I have a lot of games, and I felt like enough was enough, and I knew that if I told myself to stop, I would stop. So I'm going to give you a whole rundown, but by my whole logic behind that, and also give my thoughts and opinions on what's the future of this whole hobby. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Over here, I talk about gaming and everything under an umbrella. I do go live. I live stream games, and I do some commentary. And I also like to have fun and just talk gaming and do some shorts and all that. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, please consider subscribing. I really would appreciate it. Also, down in the description, I have a link to a poll that I'm doing on the actual next game that I want to stream, and these are the four games. So, the first one is Hired Gun for the PS5. It's a pretty solid game. The other one is God of War Ascension. I want to put that in the poll as well because that's a really cool game. Rage, which is a game that I haven't played yet by Bethesda. I don't know why I haven't played this. I got it for 6.99 a while back. It's pretty dope. And last but not least, GoldenEye 007. So those are the four games in the poll. So hopefully you guys will check that out. All right, let's get back into this. Why did I start collecting retro games, and then why did I stop? Well, first, 9999 was the year that the day that the Dreamcast was released. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Dreamcast, and it was the first console I bought with my own money. Now prior to that, I had, the NES, the Super Nintendo, and I had the N64. My mom, that she bought that for me, and my mom was a gamer too, so we was end up, we played a lot of games or whatever. And I was a Nintendo kid, and I really didn't dabble into Sega stuff as much as I could have. My cousin, he had the Sega stuff. He had the Genesis. He had the Sega CD, the 32X. I can't remember if he had a Saturn, but I do remember that I wasn't on board with the PlayStation 1, so I never got the PlayStation. I jumped to N64. But when Dreamcast came out, when it was coming out, I was blown away by the way it looked. I bought it, and it was my first it was my console. It wasn't nothing that my mom bought or anything. It was my console. So I told myself I'm gonna get pretty much every single game that I can get for the Dreamcast. And I started racking up games, and then I was like, yo, this is cool. And I was going off to college because I finished high school a little bit after 99. And I was going off to college, whatever the case may be, and my mom was like, "Yo, you could take the games that you want." She just wanted to keep the N64 because she played Ocarina of Time, so she wanted to play that. And so basically, I took the Super Nintendo and the NES, so I kept these games, and along with my Dreamcast, and I told myself, I always want to be in a position where I can always play the games that I want. I want my games at my fingertips. So I started collecting games for the Super Nintendo, the regular NES, started picking up games for the Dreamcast, obviously. And then when the PlayStation 2 came out, I didn't get that right away. I held off on that, but I did get the original Xbox. And I jumped onto that, and then the rest is history. I bought all the consoles. I doubled back and got the PS2 and the GameCube, and then the rest is history. All the other ones since then, I bought all of those, and I end up having all the games I have today. And for the time being, it was a phenomenal journey, picking up games for the GameCube, jumping to the PS3, jumping, to the Xbox 360, picking up games and loving these games, and definitely picking up for the original Xbox. I mean, that was the console because I felt like it was the Dreamcast 2 because the Dreamcast died off. I felt like it was the Dreamcast 2, and all of these games that are right here, that are up against this wall over here, all of these are original Xbox games, except for that third row, because right here you can see the blue, that's where the PS4 games are. But all this stuff in the first two, those are all original Xbox games. It's my biggest part of the collection. And I was heavy into collecting the games. And I still have no regrets of picking them up. I love having these games at my fingertips, playing them, enjoying them, loving them. And at the end of the day, that's the way it's supposed to be. So The way I look at it nowadays, the pickup videos that I used to do is slow down. I mean, I've done 50 of them. I said 50 was gonna be the last one. I have a whole playlist of the pickup videos, and they were great. They were fun. And when I go to the game store now, and this is we're getting into the reason why I stopped. Like basically the reason why I started because I always wanted to have games in my possession I could play at any time, and I would never have an issue with worrying about not playing the game or whatever the case may be. I will have something to play because I love playing video games. But the reason why I stopped because when I go to the game store, there's absolutely nothing that I want anymore. I go to these game stores and I just look around and I say, "Oh, that looks interesting, but I got that on another platform," or "This looks cool, but I'm not really interested in buying it," or "Oh, that looks great, but I already got it digital." And one of the big things about collecting, you always want to have physical copies of stuff because it can never be taken away from you. And I get it. That's a very valid, situation. Very good mindset to have if you're collecting, but at the same time, I feel like that I've collected enough. Like I said, I've been collecting games, you know, technically since 1999, but all my other stuff that I had when I was a kid, I bought some of that stuff along with me, like, my N64, I mean, that right there is my childhood's N64, my Super Nintendo. I mean, I don't think this Super Nintendo is my childhood one. No, it's not. But the NES, stuff like that. It's my childhood stuff. There's my NES right there, sitting right there, and the Super Nintendo is I can't remember what my Super Nintendo is. It's over there by that TV. It's in the bottom, I think, on the entertainment system. But I have all of this stuff, and I bought it along with me, and the thing about it is I really feel that there's nothing in these stores for me anymore. I look and see this, that, and the third, and either I got it on my PC or I have it in another form, and I'm at a loss to where there's nothing out there for me no more. And I get it. Like I said, the physical part of the gaming space where you want to get the physical copies is like I've been collecting so much. I don't know how many more physical copies of games I need for the space, and I just don't have the space. I think I'm comfortable where I am. I look at PlayStation 5 games, I'm like, "Do I wanna get more physical games of those?" And that maybe be, like, the only thing, but when it comes to retro stuff, I know I'm checked out, maybe PS4 stuff, but other than that, I'm checked out. Now when it comes to Nintendo Switch, you see the Switch games down there. I mean, that's my son's stuff. I mean, he's the one that get the Nintendo Switch stuff. He loves those things, I mean, he loves that thing and he buys those games. Well, I buy them for him or he buys it with his own money at times. And he does like getting physical stuff, but it's not the same when he goes to the store and finds stuff and I sit back and be like, yeah, that looks cool. Like the other day we went to the game store and he basically found Mario Strikers charged for the Wii because he likes Mario Strikers and he played the one on the Switch, he plays the one on the GameCube, but he hasn't played the one on the Wii yet. So we bought that the other day and I mean he loves it. And I'm sitting there in the store and I see, a couple of games that I may want. I see Call of Duty World at War. I'm like, yeah, that looks cool, but do I really want to get that again? I mean, I had that a long time on the 360, and I'm beyond, and I'm looking at it like I don't think I want that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to play it again. And if I do, I mean, I'll probably just find it on the PC and just run through the campaign again, or something. I don't know. It just I just don't know when it comes to games like that. Like I love playing those first person shooter campaigns, but I just don't have the desire to run back and get them like that. So I'm like at a standpoint to where I would just get the games digital at this point. And I'm not a big fan of digital games, but I do get them. And a lot of people will sit there and be like, you don't need to get digital, you don't own none of the stuff, and they say you need to buy the physical copies. But I mean, look behind me, man. I got a lot of physical stuff. And this is not anything compared to like what these other guys have, because some of these dudes have walls and walls of games. And I look at them and I'm like, wow, that's great. And it looks beautiful. And it's something that I would love to have. But I gotta be honest with myself. If I would love to have that around me and be in this room, but I gotta be honest, that's almost like overkill to me. That's a little almost too much. I'm content with all my, like my Saturn games that are up here. I got some Saturn games that's down there on the floor where my thumb is right here. Some Saturn games right there. The Super Nintendo N64, NES, Saturn, my Dreamcast games over here. I did a video about that. 360 over here, PS3 right there, Wii U, GameCube, Switch, PS4, more PS3. All this stuff here is Xbox, original Xbox, and I have some more stuff over there. It's a lot of stuff. So I don't see myself actually, picking up any more. And with my PS5, I mean, I'm gonna show you my PS5 stuff is right there. If you look right here where my thumb is, and I got some loose Sega Genesis games up there. So it's like I am where I am, and I'm like, I don't see myself really pulling any more games. Maybe PlayStation 5, maybe PlayStation 4. But that to me, that's not retro. When I look at retro, I think of Xbox 360, PS3 on down. And I don't see, like I said, the Call of Duty World at War. That's something that I don't think I may have it on 360, but I'm not sure. And it's like the Call of Duty series, I love their campaigns, but I don't know if I'm gonna go back and play those like that again. I just don't know. I mean, it's hard to find a good game with a campaign like that now. And I've played all of them. Even right now, Battlefield 6, I've been playing that one, and that's pretty cool. But it's like, do I need to go out and buy that and add to the collection? I got enough games here as it is, to be honest. And I'm just looking at it to the point where I may be done. So the future of this, I feel like, um I do see myself, honestly. I do see myself picking up a few more PlayStation 5 games. I do see myself picking up a few PlayStation 4 games. And I will say, that's where it will stop. And when it comes to the next console, PS6 or the next Xbox, I don't see myself buying any games for those consoles if they come out. If they do, I'm probably going straight digital. And my son, if he wants games for a Switch or Switch 2, he can buy those games. I mean, he got a PS5 downstairs as well. So if he wants to get games for that, that's going to be his stuff. I'll buy. But for me, I think my collection is complete for the most part. I said this a few months back that I think I had like 5 or 6 games that I want to get. Um, those games have been fulfilled, except for maybe like 2 of them, and I'm thinking about not even pursuing those games. I'm content. There's other ways, and there are other ways to play those games that are in a digital form. I can get them on Steam or whatever the case may be. So it's not anything that I have to get like right away. I can get them on the PlayStation 4 or or my PS5, or I can get it digital. So it's not nothing that I have to just jump out and get. And honestly, I am extremely content. I am extremely happy with my collection. It's a little messy right now. I mean, I could doll it up a little bit, make it look a little bit better, because, like I said, I got some more stuff all over the place. But that's just me need to do a little bit of cleaning in here. And but I do feel that at the end of the day, um, I'm good. I'm good. I think from 1999 up to 2026, which is, 27 years. Jesus Christ, it's 27 years. I'm in my early 40s, man, and for 27 years, I've been collecting games. That's crazy. And when you really think about that, I mean, in 1999, I was what, 19? No, 1999, I was 17. 17 years old up until now. I've been collecting games. That is crazy. And I'm good. I'm good. I can honestly say I'm good. I don't need to sit here and pick up any more games. Like I said, not retro anyway. PS5. I can see myself pulling a few more PS4. Yeah, but like I said, I think the other stuff. I think I got everything I want. And to be honest, it's one of the best feelings to have, man. Maybe one day I will get into how to deal with buying games or whatever, because a lot of people, I don't know if I'll do that, because a lot of people can get into collecting games, and you just gotta I'll just say it like this, you just have to be smart. You have to be smart with your finances if you wanna get into this. You know, I never went crazy and bought stuff and not necessarily, got rid of my responsibilities, or put my responsibilities on the back burner per se. So, yeah, and that's the type of stuff that you have to, keep in mind, but this is still a great hobby, and I'm not gonna get rid of any of these games, but I just know that I'm pretty much stopped, with the retro stuff. This current generation and the last generation, I could see that, but, I mean, I don't have an Xbox One or Xbox Series anymore, so but you know what? Before I get out of here, let me tell you something, man, and I knew this was gonna happen. I'm actually getting an itch to buy one of those Xbox Series S. I don't know why I have an itch to buy one, and I don't think I will, but I have an itch to buy the S. I'll probably go to a pawn shop and buy the Series S, the little white one. I might buy that because I mean I could play all this stuff on my PC, but just to have the Series S in my bedroom or something to just play it, I'm inclined to do that. I don't know why, but that's a whole other thing I don't want to get into. But yeah, I just wanted to rant and rave about that for a second, but that's why I start, and then I stop collecting retro games. I'm good. And hopefully you guys check out that poll. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm gonna get up out of here. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.